So this is our set for month to month. The brilliant Donovan Murphy operating sound. There goes our makeup artist, Rain. There's our first AD, Doug, and the star, Kevin. Hello. Actually, Jake Howard, but we call him Kevin.
No, it's Kevin Underwood.
Kevin Underwood. Kevin Underwear. Underwood. The film originally started with a different production company. I was slated to shoot it. The other production company backed out, but Leah didn't want to let it sell. And so she came to me and said, I know you were just going to shoot it, but would you consider taking it on as a director? I believed in them and I believed in the film and what they were trying to accomplish. You know, the character arc, if you will, the story arc of her coming out of the shadows and the renter finding inspiration through her and their journey together. The film follows two people who, in very different ways, are kind of struggling through life.
The story really is the journey of our main character, Diane.
She worked her whole life and she had a great life, and all of a sudden her best friend and her husband just passes away.
She rents out a room to make a little extra money, and she rents to a guy who's a struggling writer who's just really can't find inspiration for his book.
It's really a journey for her to understanding that there's something beyond that dark point in her life. And through her interactions with Kevin, she starts to realize that and starts to come out of that shell.
You can relate to Diane on so many levels. And sometimes we don't make good decisions in our life. In this situation, she used alcohol to kind of numb the pain. It was really about taking back and finding herself, about self-love.
Like most films start off as one thing and then they evolve over time. We rewrote it like, I don't remember, 17 times. We knew that the original author of it, there was a really good story at its core, but the original story wasn't the one we wanted to tell.
I think this script is really a script that we tried to make as true to life as possible, and really to explore some of the kind of emotions that are underlying, human relationships. And I think that's a really tough task. But I think, and again, because of the collaborative effort, we were able to, I think, really do that with this script.
First spot, okay. And last scene of the day. Let's just see your first and second last scene of the film, except for our outdoor shot. So.
My name is Leah Pears, and I've always wanted to act, really. And, it's one of those odd things that happens. It's something that you always wanted to do, and the timing, is just.
Leah and I had talked a long time. We met on a set of another movie. I had always kind of been interested in getting kind of behind the scenes, behind the camera. To have the ability to kind of experience that creative kind of genesis of a project and see it all the way through was really kind of what I was looking for. From everything we've seen, this has been a really just fantastic project. And, we're not done yet, but thanks again.
I got cast in this feature film, and that's how I met Leah. She was, I think she was AD. She was also had a small role as the art teacher in the film, and she got to see me work and was like, "Hey, I love what you're doing. I've got this project coming up in a couple months. You should audition."
When Leah first approached me, the original idea on her mind was that I would shoot it and direct it, but that was way too much work. And so then I said, I can't do that. I'll direct it, but I need to find a good shooter. Well, I have a friend who I consider to be one of the best in Northern California, and I called him hoping that he would say yes, and he did. And so once he was on board, and also the audio recordist, a gentleman named Donovan Murphy, he's one of the best in Northern California. So getting the right crew assembled, and then you talk to them, and we bounce back and forth about the vision, so it's literally like a scene from a movie where we're in Brian's living room and we're doing all of this around the living. Yeah, we could do this shot here, but I want her to be silhouetted because it's her dark period in her life. So that's when it starts kind of coming alive. But you both have to be able to see it because there's nothing happening at that point.
My name is Brian HAMM. I am the director of photography on Month to Month. Well, I've known Tim for quite a while. I've worked on a lot of projects with him, a couple decades ago. We loved working with each other, and he called me up and I said, yeah, man, I'm in. So that's kind of how he got me.
When you start to put it all together, the first thing you do is sit down with your DP and you start talking about the look of the film, how you want it to look. and we had some really, really unique looks for this film.
We had talked a little bit about some of the inspirations and some of the feels of it. Tim wanted some specific parts of the characters to be dark most of the script, and then by the end, everything to be a little bit lighter, brighter, more aesthetically pleasing to kind of go along with her life. We utilized more contrast and shadows and some haze in the air, in the atmosphere, and leading up to the end, it's less haze and a little bit brighter lighting.
Everyone's funny and everyone makes us laugh, and Tim Walton, the director, he has been so funny.
Ask me a question.
How much NyQuil, Tim?
Well, people prefer to take NyQuil in like little shot glasses, but me, I just poured into my wine.
Jokes by Jake Howard.
I always pride myself in always smiling and being a fun guy. You always want to be someone that others want to be around and work with. Otherwise, you're kind of fucking up. You know, and I heard Melissa say, you know, this is one of the most fun sets she's got to spend time on. I think that's a pivotal point to a good work environment. Also, just if everybody's having fun doing what they're doing, it's going to show in the work.
The thing that I've liked the most is getting to know everybody and, you know, definitely learning new things on set because, you know, barely knew anything before I got here.
So I got to tell you a story. This young lady sleeping over here, Melissa, she actually posted on Facebook that this was the most fun she's ever had on any set. The way to get your movie made, I heard from a famous director named Lawrence Kasdan. When Kevin Costner went to make Dances with Wolves, Costner asked him, how do I do this? It's a 4-hour Western, blah, blah, blah. Kasdan told him, you know how to make your movie? You surround yourself with the best and most talented people you can find, and you listen to them.
And I just want to officially hand over the Bible month to month to the producer.
Thank you, everybody. Cheers. What I would like the audience to take away from the film is there's always hope. And so, you know, if somebody's struggling or whatever and they look at this, maybe they'll relate to one of the two characters.
Don't ever give up on someone, you know? I think we can relate that to a lot of things in life. Even if someone seems so lost, just remember who they were and who they could be, and just don't give up.
Change. We can all change. We don't have to be stuck, you know? And sometimes it does take us, we have to get out of our comfort zone to grow and to change. And sometimes we're afraid to change. And Diane was afraid to change. But with this young man, Kevin, in her life, she just saw a part of him in her when she was that age. And it reminded her not to be so fearful, to be fearless.
You know, I think I found my inspiration from my book, too.
Each one of us in our human existence goes through dark times, goes through loss of various types, but there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes it's difficult to find that, but by persevering and opening yourself up, hopefully you find that and kind of come out the other side.